But with that said, everyone, welcome our next set of speakers on the stage. We have, once again, Chantalle, Luis, Sena, and the Kimmo is going to be the moderator for this panel. Give them the round of applause, and I'm going to leave the stage for the guys.
Hey, Louis.
How are you?
Should I go this way?
Should I take this? Yeah. All right. Thank you for the interesting presentation, Louis. The next topic is gonna be real-world asset tokenization, revolutionize distribution, and the real-world asset tokenization is going to disrupt many industries and sectors. There's a research saying that the total market value will exceed $10 trillion by 2030. So what we're talking about when we're talking about tokenizing assets is they can be physical or intangible assets. They can be about real estate, company shares, bonds, art, or, as we're going to talk today, things related to the drink industry, alcohol drink industry. And what they basically are, they represent the ownership of the asset that can be easily managed and transacted. And a short introduction to the panelists. We have here today Louis de Bonnecaze.
Yeah,
Close enough?
the Bonnecaze.
Yeah, all right. The co-founder and CEO of Interstellar that you just heard more about. We have Chantalle Alberstadt, co-founder of MetaBrewSociety and founder of BoredBrands Studio, and Sena Matsuura,
Yes.
the founder of Sagebito. And all of you have projects that have a little bit of different angle to the asset tokenization, but the category is alcohol drinks. So we're talking about beer, wines and spirits, and sake. And your solutions include digital twins, like we just heard, as well as tokenizing subscriptions and memberships. But let's do a quick round where you can tell a bit more about your projects. I think most people sitting here just heard a lot about Interstellar, but maybe you can give a short recap to people who just joined, and you have also had an interesting announcement with the token launch. So if you want to share, what specific challenges are you tackling with tokenization in the wine industry?
So yeah, in a nutshell, because most of you were there during my keynote, I'm Louis. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Interstellar, which is a wine and spirit Web3 platform on which you can build your digital cellar and trade, exchange, or redeem the bottle that are digital twins linked to a physical bottle. To answer your question, the main challenge for me, but maybe we can detail a little bit after, is the onboarding of customers and of brands. The main challenge is to get people forget about all the technical sheets, like all the technical terms like NFT, like. So this is why I'm talking about digital twin. So we have to. I mean, in the current internet, the people, they don't mind about HTML, CSS. They are just using it. So the user experience is the main challenge.
Great. And by the way, the wines that you're tasting in this event, I believe, are also sponsored by Inter.
Sorry?
The wines people are tasting in this event are also sponsored by your...
Yeah. You're going to have some different wines, white wine, sparkling wine. And for those who are kind of VIPs, I don't know, we have a private tasting at the after party. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
And yeah, let's move on to Sena. So you are creating exclusive sake experiences, and you have tokenized memberships, and you're organizing real-life tasting experiences.
Yeah.
So as you're promoting centuries-old Japanese sake culture, do you want to share us a bit more about that story?
Yeah.
And also, how did you end up moving into Web3 with it?
So I'm Sena from Japan, and I'm from Japan. That's why I'm doing the Japanese sake. A lot of Japanese people only deal with people who speak Japanese, so I guess I'm in the best position to do a Japanese sake project. But the project called Sakebito, and I'm founder and the CEO. And our approach is actually slightly away from tokenization. I think you're doing one-to-one bottle tokenization.
Yeah, I'm not fractionalizing.
Yeah. For us, it's more towards the Web3 community approach. So we tokenize the membership, but the sake itself is not really on the blockchain. But the point of Web3, we wanted to access this kind of open community where we actually gather in real life. I think we wanted to focus more towards zero life experience. And I felt that Web3 has a lot of that elements. And people here actually wants to be part of the project, not just receive, not just buy something, but they want to actually come to the events, the meetup with create a connection with the producers or the founders. So that aspect that we wanted to utilize. And also it gives us the opportunity to expand the new audience because sake is still very small. I think entire European sake market is only 800 million euros. In last year, it doubled in France and the UK, but still very small. Unless you have drunk sake before, you don't buy. So we wanted to kind of more expand to people who have never tried sake, and Web3 actually enables us to reach to wider audience. So that's the approach from us to Web3. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. And Chantalle, your NFT mint with MetaBrewSociety raised over 1.2 million from 45 different countries, and what it basically is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's an annual beer subscription. So do you want to share a bit how this successful NFT sale came to be, and how is it going with the subscriptions?
Of course. So as you just said, I'm a co-founder of MetaBrewSociety. So every one of you who already had a beer this year or last year, this is like our beer. So feel free to drink, to give me feedback, whatever. We basically started, I think it was kind of 2 years ago, with a company. So our goal was not to just be in Web3, just to internationalize a beer company from start. Means as you just mentioned, after the mint, we had holders in 45 countries and made 1.2 million with the mint, which was a great funding start to actually build the whole company because we actually have the beer company, the brewery in Bavaria, in Germany, so a real brewery. It's us. It's just our beer, and we're not going to different kind of breweries and brew there. And that was a really good start. And actually, when it comes to the subscription model, it's our holders get 240 cans each year for free, delivered to their homes worldwide. So at the moment, 45 countries. And this is actually how we started, and we guaranteed the holders for 3 years. So actually, as the mint price was a bit higher with $1,000 US, the risk for them was not so high because they knew they will get at least 3 years, 240 cans a year for free, and but as long as we exist. So at the end, to start with Web3 was to internationalize from the start, have the funding, which was 1.2 million, so a pretty good start to start a company, but also them to help us spread the word. So it's not just building the community, but having brand ambassadors out there, because of course our holders are more connected to the beer company than to a regular beer company where they're just going to a store and buy the beer.
Nice. Let's dive into the topic of the discussion. So, and this one might maybe go more to Louis because you're doing something really different in the distribution of the wine. So tell us more about the approach to distribution and how do you see the market being impacted by tokenization by companies like you?
So yeah, here we have two topics. We have the phygital assets, like linking an NFT to a physical item, and also the membership part. So for me, this is the two main topics that are very interesting in the real-world asset tokenization. But one interesting topic that Sena just raised is that you can also, in some case, fractionalize some assets. This is not what we are doing because for a bottle of wine, if you fractionalize it, it's not possible to drink it. And it's not like a very worth asset like I don't know, real estate. You can do that in real estate. But yeah, the main thing is that you have to disrupt a distribution, even a very old-fashioned. You have to reinvent, rebuild the way that people are consuming. So of course, we are in the middle of digital experience, and tangible physical experience, because we are talking about drinks, alcohol beverage. But the digital is very important. This is why, for example, in our company, we are bringing gamification to a very old-century industry, because for me, in my opinion, the gamification will be the key of any kind of product distribution. So the people, they have to enjoy. The new buyers are not the same as the previous one. People, they need to enjoy their experience. So in the case of the wine and spirit, you can make like a digital cellar. We put on our website some 3D bottles that you can touch. And especially in the luxury industry, the product deserves a good experience. I mean, if you go on any regular website today for fine wine and spirits, you just have a JPEG and a small text introducing the wine, so it's not enough for those kind of products. So yeah, for me, the digital and also physical experience with membership is very important. So you have a club, you're also running kind of the same stuff, gathering people. And yeah, this is what I started with. As I told you, if you want to start a business in the Web3, the most important is to gather a community around same values. So this is why we started with building a community, because you have a lot of projects, they have some huge marketplace, metaverse, but there is no one here. So yeah, community first.
Yeah. And you raised a good point there that the distribution is also about reaching new audiences, like in your cases with the subscriptions and memberships. And I was wondering how you have seen kind of like this reaching out to the Web3 communities as your go-to market strategy. So how is that going? This is obviously what you do, like real life.
It's me, all right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just looking at you.
Oh, no.
But in my case, I think we actually benefit quite a bit from this membership tokenization program, because such a small industry like sake, we don't have enough audience to approach. And a lot of people have drunk wine, but most of the people have not drunk sake. When you see €100 bottle of wine and €100 bottle of sake, if you're giving it to like, as a present, you probably go for €100 wine because you know for sure that's going to taste better. People have tasted €50 bottle of wine, so they know how good it's going to be if they buy €100 bottle. So when people haven't even tried sake before, they're not going to go for this good sake. And what Web3 and tokenization allows us is that we can actually collaborate with the memberships. So let's say you have a membership of our sake program, and because it's an NFT, maybe you can log into the website of yours through the wallets, and we can kind of do a private launch or private limited edition or something that our members can get discounts, or we can do the other way around. We can do the other way around here as well. So it allows us to approach your audience, which probably have not even thinking about sake before, but by having this kind of collaboration, we can expand to new audiences, which is very helpful for us. Maybe it's like I'm stealing your audiences, but it's not.
No, we're not on the same market. But yeah, sake is interesting, but I asked you yesterday, it's not aging. So maybe for the phygital side, it's not so, it's maybe a little bit less. But for the membership, of course, it's a very good way to attract some new consumers.
It's more about experience. I mean, we did a tasting yesterday actually at the upstairs, and we had about 20 to 25 people. And actually, a lot of people after the tasting came up to me and said, I thought sake was spirits. I thought sake was very strong. It's actually not. It's pretty similar to wine. It's about 17%. So it's quite easy to drink. But we haven't even got to a point that everybody knows what sake is. People still think it's a strong spirit.
Yeah, the baijiu.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
make it with the rice alcohol.
Yeah, it's from the China one.
Yeah.
So they call it sake as well. So, but yeah, the problem is I think there is such a strong barrier to enter drinking sake, like this stereotype as well, but also haven't tried it before. So in Web3, we can actually kind of give out for free and open people, and the barrier is gone, almost.
Yeah. And thank you for the tasting yesterday. And I believe you have a side event coming up as well?
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon.
With some kind of treasure hunt, and people can find out more.
So we have a side event tomorrow night with Azuki Europe. We co-host with Azuki Europe, And we're having a free sake at the side events at the Japanese restaurant. So we have Japanese food and Japanese sake together. But in order to go to side events, you need to complete a treasure hunt that we're organizing with a couple of artists in BananaConf. And yeah, if you want to know more about treasure hunt, come to our booth. Then you can find out a bit more about it. So,
Very, very cool. And Chantalle, maybe the next one to you. So we mentioned already kind of like that there are two elements. There's the digital experience and the real life experience. And essentially you're all promoting physical products in the end. But how do you see the importance of the digital experience and what are some of the key elements you have used in your project?
Well, at the end, to be honest, people are like, do you like free beer? And everyone is like, yeah, I like free beer, and the rest will come. So actually, what you just said, like the gamification part, and make people excited about the brand and not just the product, is like the point where you get the people to actually, or build like a love brand, and people will go out and spread the word and be like brand ambassadors. So this is like very important, and you don't get that when you're just having the beer and the can. This is nice. So the beer has to taste good, otherwise people are bullish in the first second, and then they take a sip and they're like, oh my god, I can't drink that. So you need to do the gamification part, or even more important, what you also said, build a community around that. So I'm totally community driven. I mean, this is mainly the reason why most of us are here somehow. Most people came because of crypto and somehow stayed because not only the business cases, but because of the people. And it's kind of the same when you're building brands. So that should be a focus point for me in the digital area too. So not just having a digital twin or something, but like building an experience people enjoy at the end.
Excellent. And I think, Louis, you mentioned something about a metaverse experience. Is it related to the new token and kind of like the thing that you're building?
Yeah, this is directly linked to our token. It means that you can customize, you can spend. What is very important in a token is, of course, the collateralized retention. You have to, the people, they have to stack their token, not to sell it, but also they have to spend it to make a circle. So a good way is to giving the opportunity for people to customize their own experience. And usually, in the case in the wine industry, people they want to have their own atmosphere. I mean, for example, you have some people they want to display some champagne bottles with their Bored Ape or something. We're also collaborating with Sandbox. So some people sometimes they don't like very realistic experience. So the best way to onboard people is to let them imagine their own atmosphere, building their own their own seller, their own experience. This is for me very important because Web3 is the web of trust. This is the web of the people. They need to own things, of course, so the real world asset, but also they need to go further in the experience. So to let people free to customize for me is very important.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to ask about a topic of regulation, because we all know that alcohol sales is heavily regulated in some countries. I'm from Finland myself, and we have a government-run monopoly, and there are age restrictions. So have you run into any regulatory issues, and how have you tackled them?
I mean, when we started, we knew from the beginning that we are shipping to 45 countries. And when you're just only looking to the US, for example, you need a distributor who has a license for every single state to actually distribute there. So, for example, that was kind of a challenge because shipping it from Europe in a container to the US, find the right distributor out there. This is just like one of all of the challenges when it comes to regulation. So, just as an example, people probably get.
Yeah.
For me, it's also like the bank account as well. A lot of banks don't accept alcohol businesses, especially I'm not EU citizen, so I'm trying to get like digital residency and stuff like that. And you know, there are like online banks like Wise and Everett. Wise does not want to deal with, first of all, cryptocurrency, plus alcohol either. So I can't even open an account, so I'm just struggling how to get a bank account, first of all. And apparently, traditional business doesn't really want to deal with it. And so I think there was a couple of panels about e-residency in Estonia, or how the government is supportive towards Web3 innovations in Nordic and Baltic countries. But I think government authorities are actually quite caught up with innovation, but the traditional businesses like law firms, regulators, and the banking systems are not actually following up what the government are trying to do, because I could easily set up a company in Estonia, but I haven't sorted out the banking system yet. So it's actually the opposite from my country or the other bigger countries where corporates are ahead of governments, but here I feel like it's the other way around. Yeah.
For me, one of the main regulation challenge was not directly linked to the alcohol. It was more linked to the VAT. Because when you are buying a bottle of wine or any other product and you get delivered directly, there is no problem because the VAT is paid by the consumer and you have the delivery address directly. But when you are doing a secondary marketplace, it's not easy to know that guy or girl is coming from this country. Does he have to pay the VAT and so on? So blockchain is very easy because you can see exactly who is the buyer and so on, but you have to make a process of localization or something like that, a KYC in that case, because you have to know where the people are located, and in this way you are answering also the answer of the age of people of the consumption. So KYC is very important in the phygital marketplace. It's mandatory. We cannot be fully decentralized because there is a physical product behind. So yeah, the main challenge in the phygital or more how to link the NFT, the physical item to the VAT, financial regulation, and so on.
Okay. Let's leave room for a few audience questions, but we could do a closing round and a bit of a look into the future. So maybe you can share a bit, how do you see that your project will look like, let's say, in 2 to 3 years? And also, how do you see the impact of tokenization growing in the alcohol drinks market? Want to start?
Who wants first?
Yeah.
Actually, when I'm looking into 2-3 years in the future, we're just like Web3 is just like one part of our business. So actually was to start in like a marketing angle, but in general, we just have to sell beer. And we're a startup, so actually best case, we're still shipping beer and we still survive because of course, setting up a startup is always like bringing a lot of challenges. But what I would love to do in the Web3 space is do more collaborations, not just with other communities, but with artists and such, because you can do this gamification part, this involving people, involving communities, pretty good with the beer camps, because we can also white label. This is what we did last year a lot with conferences. We worked with conferences and with other companies, and everyone got their own label. And if we do, for example, a nice art collection, people can scan the can, have their art collection in their wallet and such, and do like a little bit gamification around that, and maybe also onboard new people who are just like drinking the beer, Web2 people, drinking the beer, scan the can, getting their first NFT, like a nice art piece or something without paying for it. And this is what I can imagine what I would love to do when it comes to the Web3 part, actually.
Okay. For us, we are a bit younger than you guys too, so we need a bit of a catch up to do. So we have to launch. We are going to launch membership over this year, and that's also the first step. But in a couple of years, we want to be expanding towards actually not only targeting Web3 audiences, but also sell to Web2 or in general audiences. And in that way, we have to actually focus on how to streamline the interaction with NFTs and wallets. That's one step too. And you guys already have a beer bar in Germany, right?
Yeah.
You want to have a sake bar as well, the physical sake bar somewhere as well. So those steps are coming up in a few years, I think.
Yes, it's an interesting question. But for me, I'm not focused on the very long-term vision because, as you told us, it's very important to sell our product before. So it takes time to build your vision. So I'm more focused on the 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months. But to answer your question, recently I've been to New York. I bought the Apple Vision Pro. I was not really convinced at the beginning, but I put one of my bottle with GLB assets. So this is something that you can touch and so on. And really, it was really impressive. So it's just the beginning of those immersive experience. So I think my vision of the future of my business and on all the business and the drinking business will be a mix between this immersive experience and something tangible. For example, you can imagine in the future that you get delivery of the bottle, the physical one, and you can make a wine tasting with the winemaker in your immersive experience. So yeah, my vision is something like between the immersive and tangible experience.
Yeah, very good. And one bonus question actually to Louis, because you mentioned that you are not really working with the fractional tokenization, but do you see players like disrupting the value chain so that they would sell portions to the wine before the bottling?
The parcel of yeah. I mean, in the wine, you can tokenize the bottles, you can tokenize the cask or the barrels, and you can also tokenize the lens. So it's not exactly the same. Lands are more real estate with a regulation, other regulation challenge. But the most important for me is that for example, if you tokenize a barrel, you will have lower items, like it will be bottles. I mean, a barrel of wine is around, I think it's 600 bottles, something like that. So if you buy a barrel, you can fractionalize into bottles. But I'm not going to fractionalize a bottle because there is no Satoshi of bottles. And the final purpose is to drink the bottle. So if you have 10 owners of this on the same bottle and you just have one who don't want to redeem the bottle, it will not be drunk, and it's a shame because there are a lot of very old vintage ones that are not drinkable right now.
Yeah. Very good. Let's see what the future brings. Maybe we will end up tokenizing a whole winery or the business.
And a drink with, not too much. I mean, in the current, there are a lot of trends like non-alcoholic beverage, which is, it's not my industry, but I'm respecting this. But we encourage people to drink less, but to drink best.
Perfect. We have time for a couple of audience questions. If anyone wants to ask anything generic or specific from the panelists.
Maybe I have one more thing to add. At the end of the day, we are doing the alcohol blends, and it has to be experienced in real life. Even though the industry is about digitalizing and people working online, but we are creating real life experience. I think it's actually since the COVID and everybody started to work online, but it kind of emphasized the importance or actually the value of meeting in person. I was in Poland for 1 month before this event, and I was there alone. I didn't go with my friends. But so I joined the co-working community, and everybody there works online, but they join this co-working space in order to meet people and actually socialize people. These co-working spaces have weekly events, monthly events together. And even though everybody's working online or kind of disconnected with the world, but still people are actually want to meet people. I had a friend who was working fully remotely for 2 years, but she's back in the office this year because she kind of missed the feeling of meeting people every single day. So, and alcohol is quite in the center of this socializing experience. So I think we have a lot of influence that we can make.
Yeah. We did not reinvent the membership with Web3. Wine and Spirit is already a community. It's very an identity product. Sometimes some brands are like you have the cognac with the Afro-American, the Wasp are more on the Irish whiskey. Some brands, they have some specific communities. So yeah, wine and spirit is already a community industry.
Community.
What I usually enjoy is that we get also people into the space because people are getting curious because they can touch the product. It's not just like we all always say, like a monkey picture. It's at the end like in real life asset, community building, people come together, drink something, you can explain it. They don't think immediately it's a scam because they're like, okay, there's actually a bottle or a can or whatever. And this is what I always enjoyed when talking about the project also to people outside of the space because they get it and they seriously start to get interested as soon as they think like, so you have a real brewery, or like, yeah, it's not just metaverse, it's like real brewery, a brewer, here is the beer, it's in a can, you can drink it actually, and this is what I enjoy a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a brewery visits for members, like the winery visits for membership holders and stuff like that? You guys do that?
Sorry.
if you're members, you can visit the
Yeah,
partner.
yeah, yeah. The
vineyards.
perks are very important. When you're buying a physical bottle, you have also some perks like visiting the winery, like metaverse experience.
Yeah.
It's very important. As you mentioned before, if you want to target some new customers, you have to make a whole experience for them,
Yeah.
not only physical bottle.
Yeah. We want to create that around the Japan as well. So it's in Japan, not in France or Germany. So it's a little bit far away. So you got to spend quite a bit more to come to the sake breweries.
It's a
But
good reason to come to Japan.
yeah. It's the excuse to come to Japan. Just go to Japan to drink more sake. But yeah, the sake breweries are in the countryside. I think the vineyards are also quite in like little villages and places like that. And I think people don't go there proactively as their trips. So like this experience that we create can actually encourage people to discover a bit more local places. And that's a special experience as well, I think. Yeah.
Very good. I think we're out of time, but thank you for all the panelists, and I'm sure if anyone has any questions, you can talk with them after this as well.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.